In this video, we are going to be covering the return process when selling on Amazon. Let's jump right into it. What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Brad Sherman, and on this channel we explore tips, strategies, and experiences that I have had that will help you start and scale up your Amazon FBA wholesale business. In this video, we are going to be covering a topic that a lot of people do not enjoy talking about, and that is returns. Whether you like it or not, this is an inventory-based business, so you are going to be dealing with returns. This video was actually recommended to me from one of my subscribers, Differential Equations, so shout out Differential Equations for making the recommendation for this video. As you guys know, I do read all of your comments and try to answer them in a timely manner. If you have any future video recommendations, drop a comment down below and I'll add it to the list of topics that we can discuss. Before we jump into it, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps out the videos in the YouTube algorithm and continues me to make more and more content for you guys. Also, if you would like, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to stay up to date on all future video content. And if you guys haven't joined the Facebook group already, it's a free private Facebook group where we give out a ton of information on wholesale. So I'll leave a link for that in the description below. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. In this video, we are covering the return process on Amazon. I'm going to make this really clear cut, and I'm going to break it up into two separate categories: fulfillment by Amazon and fulfillment by merchant. I know a lot of you guys, a lot of my subscribers and followers utilize the FBA model. So let's start with FBA. Fulfillment by Amazon means that you are paying Amazon the extra fee to handle all customer returns and processing. So the nice part about FBA is that you don't have to deal with any customers directly. If customers have issues, they go to Amazon. If they have returns, they go to Amazon. If they have questions, they go to Amazon. Now, that's not to say you might not get a customer question here and there that you do have to respond to, but if you use fulfillment by Amazon, you are expected to direct the customer to Amazon's customer service. So let's say you sell your first item on Amazon and then lo and behold, it gets returned. What happens there? Well, if it was fulfilled by Amazon, what will happen is the customer will initiate a return authorization request. Once the customer initiates the return request and Amazon has approved it, Amazon will most of the time send the customer a prepaid shipping label so that they can ship the product back to the Amazon warehouse. And then what's going to happen from here is Amazon is going to receive the inventory that the customer sent back to them. And if you shop on Amazon, you know that there's several options that you can select for a return reason. Item didn't work, defective, did not like it, shipping time was too long, different reasons like that. Sometimes they're the truth, sometimes they're not. So once Amazon receives that product back, they are going to inspect it and determine if the product is sellable again. If Amazon deems that your product is sellable again, they will put it back on their shelf, and then when the next customer orders that product, they'll pull it and ship it to that customer. If Amazon deems that the product is unsellable, it will go into a tab in your seller account called unfulfillable inventory. And at this point, it will be up to Amazon's discretion as to when they ship this item back to you, but they will send it back to you if the product is deemed unsellable. So you might not get that piece of inventory back right away. It might take some time to get back, but Amazon eventually will send it back to you. Now, what do you do if you receive the item back and it's not sellable again? Well, you have a couple options. Option number one is if it's totally destroyed and not salvageable at all, you can just write it off as a loss on your business. Option number two is if it's somewhat salvageable, you can sell it as used on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or another platform. And if you receive the item back and do determine that it's sellable again in the new condition, of course, you can send it back into Amazon or fulfill it by merchant. And sometimes this does happen where Amazon ships you back an item that was a customer return that they cannot determine if it is or is not sellable again. So they leave it up to you after they've shipped it back to you, and you are able to make that decision. So obviously we want to mitigate our losses as much as possible. So anything that's slightly salvageable, even if you could sell it for a loss on eBay, it's going to be worthwhile. But sometimes just in this business, we have to write things off. And that is what we might have to do with losses that are not sellable at all. Returns are very dependent on the type of product category that you sell in. So for instance, grocery items are non-returnable items to Amazon. So customers are not allowed to return grocery items for obvious reasons. Whereas something like electronics or video games, customers can definitely return that product category, and you're going to see a way higher return rate in a product category like electronics than you would in another category like facial creams or other categories like that. That's not to say you're not going to get returns on topical products or any other products in different categories, but the return rate tends to be higher in electronic goods. This leads me into the next topic of this video, which is merchant fulfilled returns. This is where you are handling all of the customer service and return process and order shipping. So with fulfillment by merchant, you are shipping your products out directly to the customer. Now, as you guys know, I mostly use FBA, but I do utilize FBM throughout the year a bit. And during Q4, we use a lot of FBM. So I'm used to dealing with customer messages, returns, order processing, different components like that. So with fulfillment by merchant, when a customer returns the item, it's going to be auto-approved by Amazon. You can't reject a return on Amazon. Customers are allowed to return their items no matter what, whether they just don't want it, whether it's completely defective, or even if the shipping carrier delivered it a month later. Customers are allowed to return their inventory. So what's going to happen is Amazon is going to auto-approve the return request. At that point, the customer will be able to return the item back to you, and you might have to communicate with the customer on that. Sometimes Amazon is going to determine if you have to pay for the return shipping or the customer has to pay for the return shipping, depending on the reason that they selected for the return. Now, if the customer decides that they just don't want the item again, well, Amazon might put that return shipping cost on the customer. With that being said, if the customer says that they received the item defective, then that return shipping is going to be on you, whether the item was actually defective or not. With all of that being said, Amazon is moving in the direction of making the seller pay for all return shipping on items. They've made some recent updates to how they process merchant fulfilled returns. So it's important to keep that in mind. As we know, Amazon is a buyer-centric platform, whereas other platforms like eBay are more seller-oriented. With Amazon, they want to keep the buyer happy no matter what, so they are going to do everything they can to make sure that happens. So don't be surprised if you have to pay for return shipping or you have to refund products that really should not have been returned. Or were returned late, or the customer is claiming reasons that are completely out of your control. I've dealt with this a lot, and that it's just something you have to deal with as a seller on Amazon. And then of course, once you receive your inventory back from the customer, you will have to issue them a refund. Now you do have the option to issue a restocking fee on the customer's return. However, I would not recommend it, because customers are used to being refunded in full from Amazon. Amazon has created a buyer culture to where customers are very needy and they want their products in 2 days or less, and they expect to be refunded in full all the time, no matter what. I understand this can be a bit unreasonable at times, so it's important to communicate with your customer on the issues that they are having potentially before they actually return that item. But if the item has to be returned, of course that will be auto-authorized. You do have the option of issuing a restocking fee, which I wouldn't recommend unless you absolutely have to. Before we close out this video, I just want to cover one more topic, which is A to Z guarantee claims. So when you are the merchant, you have the option to direct customers to an A to Z guarantee claim. This is in an instance where you and the customer cannot solve the issue directly yourself. And it's important to note that Amazon will take your side in an A to Z guarantee claim if the tracking number on the order that you shipped out says that it's delivered, but the customer claims that it was not received. You have UPS tracking or whatever shipping carrier tracking you used as proof to show that this item is delivered, so it's your word against the customers, and Amazon will back you in that A to Z guarantee claim during that instance. If it's an A to Z claim for any other reason, they're going to back the customer, but 9 times out of 10, they will back you if the tracking says delivered and the customer claims it was not received. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed that video, smash that like button. And if you do want to stay up to date on all of the future content, hit that subscribe button and notification bell as well. If you enjoyed this video or if you have any questions, drop a comment down below and I will make sure to get those questions answered. I understand the return process can be a bit overwhelming and it's unfortunate when you do receive a return. However, if you plan on running an inventory-based business, especially in volume, you are going to be getting returns all the time. Thanks again for watching, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.